Hello everyone, welcome back to Tinny Actual Speaking. It is time for lesson 24. It is great to have you joining me. Well, of course, we did talk about your best friend, your family members, and we also practiced talking about ourselves. But today we'll talk about personalities in general. For example, when you were asked to describe a friend, you could of course talk about his or her appearance, outer look for example, but you can also use adjective to describe a person's personality or even qualities, a person's characteristics or character, okay? So we'll be doing that today. As always, it is important for you to, of course, choose the right words. So the word choices are important, flow is important, and a bit of creativity will get you some extra points when it comes to doing a speaking test or even having a conversation in English about any topic. So for now, before we move on, think about a very special friend or person. What are his or her positive traits? And perhaps think about some negative traits as well. Are you ready? Let's begin with our warm-up segment. Okay, everyone, as always, we'll begin with our warm-up segment, which means it is time for us to brainstorm some cues. Now, remember, we're not just brainstorming words, but we are reminding ourselves of what we could possibly talk about when we are thrown a topic. Today, we are talking about personalities of people in general. So, while we're at it, first of all, as I did ask you, think about a best friend, a very close friend or a family member, someone you enjoy being around, and think about their positive traits and their negative traits. Let's brainstorm some cues together. All right, what, of course, the 5 W's and how. The first W is, as you may already know, it is who. So, who do you find joy in spending time with? What does this mean? Who do you find joy, happiness, right, in spending time with? Thus, we're saying, who do you like to spend time with? When are you the happiest? Okay, who makes you feel good and happy and comfortable? So brainstorm that on your own. Also, who do you feel most uncomfortable around? So these two are the very opposite. The first one is, who do you feel the happiest with? And the second question will be, who do you feel the most uncomfortable to be with? Okay, so think about these people. Also, what kind of person is he or she? We're, of course, talking about personality. So think about this person's personality. The personality of the person you like to be around and the personality of the person you don't feel comfortable around. Let's move on to our next what. What do you like or dislike about him or her? So you can talk about what you like about him or her or what you don't like about this person as well. Moving on, what are his or her positive and negative traits? Traits meaning qualities of a person, right? So someone's characteristic or character or perhaps personality. So think about the plus and the minus, the good ones and not so, okay? Moving on, what is your personality like? Okay, quickly also just brainstorm your personality. What kind of person are you? Moving on, what are some personality traits that you like or dislike? Of course. So once again, think about the kinds of personalities you like, all right? We'll do that a little bit later together with our expression segment. Moving on to when. When did you meet the person or people you enjoy being around? Remember, we talked about people you enjoy being around, and perhaps you can talk about when you met this person or people. Also, where you met. So where did you meet? Brainstorm that on your own. Why were you drawn to him or her initially? Okay, we've got some words here. Be drawn to somebody or something. What does that mean? Draw in this case does not mean to draw a picture. It means to attract, okay? So why were you drawn to him or her means what was it about this person that attracted you, okay? Initially means in the first place, to begin with, okay? So what was so special about him or her that you were attracted to this person? Brainstorm that, and moving on to our final how. How do you feel when you are with him or her? Comfortable, happy, uncomfortable, sad, depressed, energetic, okay? Think about all those things, and moving on to our final question, how would you like people to think of or see or remember you? So we're thinking about, okay, think of seeing or remembering who? You, okay? So what kind of person do you want people to think that you are, okay? Of course, I would like people to feel happy when they're with me, comfortable when they're with me, and of course, I would love to have people enjoy being with me. So think about those things as well. Okay, we are done brainstorming our cues. If you're ready, let's move on to our next segment, which is actual talk.
Rach, you have a fun, outgoing personality.
Oh, thanks, Peter.
But tell me about the personality of the people you hang out with the most.
Yeah, sure. If I think about the people I hang out with the most, I would say my best friend, Connie. Oh, yeah? She has the best personality, and she laughs a lot. She's perpetually optimistic, you know, and I just feed off that energy. I really, really do. Maybe that's why I seem to be so energetic, because her energy is contagious and her laugh is contagious. Okay. You know, she's really, really awesome.
Well, she sounds perfect. What about her negative traits? Does she have any?
Her negative traits? Well, actually, she does. I mean, nobody's perfect, right? Yeah. So when we would get into disagreements or fights, what Connie would do is she would kind of distance herself and kind of close down. So it was really hard to communicate with her and to try to solve this issue right at the moment. She's the type that needed a lot of time to think about it and get over it. So that kind of annoyed me, to be honest.
Yeah. You like to figure things out right away.
Yeah, I do. But you know, she's the person that I spend a lot of time with, so I really, really love her to death. What about you, though? Who do you spend the most time with?
Well, other than my wife, I spend the most time with myself.
That makes sense. Well, okay. I mean, it's easy to talk about yourself, but I'm going to make you. What would you say are some personality traits about yourself?
Well, you know, I can be a little bit annoying at times.
Annoying?
Yeah, you know, I'm very ambitious, and sometimes I try to do too much in the day, so I stress myself out unnecessarily. And, you know, so I can be a bit neurotic at times. Other than that, I'm a very thoughtful and caring person.
Yeah, I can see that.
Well, I pretty much enjoy spending time with myself.
Yes. I think we all should learn to.
Yeah, time alone is important.
Yes, definitely.
So did you enjoy the conversation between Peter and Rachel? How much of the conversation did you understand? There were a few difficult words, adjectives, describing personalities, but hold your worries. I'll take you through the conversation line by line. So let's take a look at today's actual talk. First of all, what does Peter say? He says Rach, short for Rachel. I guess now that he's calling her Rach, they become good friends, right? So he says, Rach or Rachel, you have a fun, outgoing personality. Fun, we all know, fun. And what about outgoing? Out is outside, meaning you're good at expressing yourself. If you say that somebody is outgoing, you're saying that that person is very friendly, very sociable. They get along with people. They make friends easily, okay? They're full of energy. They're lively. So he says you have a fun, outgoing personality. And Rachel says, oh, thanks, Peter. Of course, because that is a compliment, right? That is a positive personality. Moving on, Peter says, but tell me about the personalities of who? The people you hang out with the most. Hang out with, we did talk about this. What does this mean, to hang out with? It means to spend time with. So basically you're saying, tell me about the personalities of the people or perhaps person that you spend time with, that you have fun with, that you hang out with the most. Now, what did Rachel say? She said, sure, my best friend. So she's going to be talking about her best friend, Connie. Now, Connie has the best personality. Oh, she's got a great personality. And then Rachel goes on by explaining her personality. She says, and she laughs a lot. Yeah. Don't you love people who laugh a lot? Because they even say laughter is contagious. It spreads from one person to another. For example, if one person laughs, it's such a great energy or vibe that other people laugh as well. So she's got a great personality, the best personality, and she laughs a lot. Now she says she's perpetually optimistic. Now we learned this word optimistic is what? Positive, right? So if you are optimistic, it means that you are positive. You think about the good things, okay? You have hope for many, many things, but perpetually means continuously, constantly. So simply put, she's always optimistic. She's optimistic all the time, okay? And I just feed off that energy. Energy, we all know. What does feed off mean? Of course, animals can feed off something, which means to eat. In this case, if you say that you feed off some kind of energy, it means you absorb that energy. You eat that energy. So that energy becomes your energy. You gain more energy from this person. Now, maybe that's why I'm so energetic. So she explains, because my friend is so positive, she's so optimistic, she laughs a lot, she has so much energy, maybe that's why I am so energetic, okay? I'm energetic because her energy is contagious. And her laugh is contagious. So we've got laughter and energy, but the word here is contagious. If you say that something is contagious, you are saying that it can be spread from one person to another. For example, a cold is contagious. Some viruses can be contagious. It can spread from one person to another. But you can say energy is contagious, and her laughter or laugh is contagious, meaning it spreads from one person to another. She's really, really awesome. You know this word awesome, which means super, great, excellent, great, okay? So awesome, meaning she's an awesome person with an awesome personality. Well, Peter says, well, she sounds perfect. She sounds like a great person. What about her negative traits? Does she have any? Now, so far we talked about the good things about her positive traits. Now he's asking about her negative traits. What's so not good about her, okay? And then, well, Rachel says, well, actually she does, meaning she does have some negative traits. Nobody's perfect, right? Exactly. Nobody's perfect. And then she says, when we would get into, she's talking about things that happened in the past. When we would get into, meaning when we fought in the past, disagreements or fights, what Connie would do was distance herself and close down, okay? So here we have distance oneself. Let's take a look at it first. Distance means, of course, to keep something or someone away, right? So if you say that somebody distances himself or herself, it means that this person avoids becoming too close with someone or too emotionally involved with. They're keeping a distance between themselves and other people. And then also, to close down means what? To shut away or shut off. You're building a wall between you and other people. So in other words, you keep things to yourself. You're not very open to others, okay? So that was what she would do when they got into arguments, disagreements, or fights. So Rachel says it was really, really hard to communicate with her. She's talking about her experience and, of course, her friend's negative traits. Moving on, and she says she was the type that needed a lot of time to think and get over things, okay? Need time to something. So she needed time to think and get over. Get over in this case means to overcome something, recover from something. So if there was a problem, it took her a long time to overcome that problem, get over problems. So that kind of annoyed me, to be honest, she says. But she says, but I really, really love her to death, meaning I really, really treasure her. I love her. Now she asks Peter, what about you? Who do you spend the most time with? Peter says, well, other than my wife, I spend the most time with who? He says, myself, or I guess you can say by myself. That makes sense. Well, what would you say are some of your personality traits? So Rachel is asking about Peter's personality traits. She's saying, what is your personality like? And he says, I can be a little bit annoying. Annoying. You all know what that means, right? If you can be annoying, perhaps, if you get angry easily, you can be very sensitive, you can get excited. But of course, if you are annoying, you can really bother people mentally, I guess, okay? So he says, I can be a bit annoying at times. And Rachel says, annoying? All right, he explains, well, I'm very ambitious. He's talking about his personality once again. Ambitious means what? You're hopeful about things, okay? You have a strong desire to succeed. You're determined, okay? And he says, and sometimes I try to do too much in a day. So try to do too much in a day, meaning you have so many things planned for that day, but then again, maybe sometimes you don't have enough time. So he says, I stress myself out unnecessarily. He says, I can be a bit neurotic. What does neurotic mean? Well, of course, a neurotic could be a crazy person. But if you say, I can be neurotic, it means I can be like a crazy person. I will have ups and downs, be very angry one second, and then be very happy one second. So I guess emotionally unstable or mentally unstable, okay? You're kind of crazy. And he says, other than that, I'm a very thoughtful, meaning considerate and caring person. I guess a sweet person as well. Now he says, I pretty much enjoy spending time with myself once again. And moving on, Rachel says, I think we all should learn to do that. Meaning what? Yes, learn to spend time on our own, by ourselves. And Peter says time alone is important. Yeah, spending time sometimes alone is important. Now, I do want to point this out. There's something called alone time. For example, you can say, I need my alone time. What would that mean? Oftentimes, of course, people, you may have difficulties at work or at school, wherever, and you just want to get away from everything. Just forget about it, right? So in those times, you need alone time to get away, think about things perhaps, or just to do something to blow stress, and then return afterwards. So once again, get away, kind of calm down, and then return. Spending time alone is to have alone time. All right, that is all for today's actual talk between Rachel and Peter. Let's listen to it one more time with the subtitles.
Rach, you have a fun, outgoing personality.
Oh, thanks, Peter.
But tell me about the personality of the people you hang out with the most.
Yeah, sure. If I think about the people I hang out with the most, I would say my best friend Connie.
Okay.
She has the best personality, and she laughs a lot. She's perpetually optimistic,
Mm-hmm.
and I just feed off that energy. I really, really do. Maybe that's why I seem to be so energetic, because her energy is contagious and her laugh is contagious.
Okay.
She's really, really awesome.
Well, she sounds perfect. What about her negative traits? Does she have any?
Her negative traits? Well, actually, she does. I mean, nobody's perfect, right? Yeah. So when we would get into disagreements or fights, what Connie would do is she would kind of distance herself and kind of close down. So it was really hard to communicate with her and to try to solve this issue right at the moment. She was the type that needed a lot of time to think about it and get over it. So that kind of annoyed me, to be honest.
Yeah. You like to figure things out right away.
Yeah, I do. But she's the person that I spend a lot of time with, so I really, really love her to death. What about you, though? Who do you spend the most time with?
Well, other than my wife, I spend the most time with myself.
That makes sense. Well, okay. I mean, it's easy to talk about yourself, but I'm going to make you. What would you say are some personality traits about yourself?
Well, I can be a little bit annoying at times.
Annoying?
Yeah, I'm very ambitious, and sometimes I try to do too much in the day,
Okay.
so I stress myself out unnecessarily. And so I can be a bit neurotic at times. Other than that, I'm a very thoughtful and caring person.
Yeah, I can see that.
Well, I pretty much enjoy spending time with myself.
I think we all should learn to.
Yeah, time alone is important.
Yes, definitely.
Welcome back, everyone. It is time for us to check out some actual talk expressions. Are you ready for it? So once again, the topic for today's lesson is personalities. We'll learn some positive traits or positive personalities and a few negative personalities as well. Now, as we move along, try to think about what kind of personality you have as well. We'll learn some new words today. So now here are ways to describe positive personalities. All right, we're talking about positive personalities. You can say my brother, for example, is pretty chill and sanguine. Now, what are these words? Chill, do you know? Now, when you talk about the weather and you say, ooh, it's chilly today, it means that it's kind of cool. It's a bit cold, right? So if you say that somebody is chill, it means they have a cool personality. What about sanguine? Sanguine also means that this person is optimistic, a happy person, okay? So my brother is pretty cool and optimistic. He's a happy person. He's an outgoing person, all right? And then he says, I often feed off his energy. Remember, feed off is what? To eat. In this case, it means to gain energy, all right? Let's move on to our next example. Let's talk about a sister. My sister Gina has a magnetic personality. Now, what is a magnet? 자석이잖아요. Magnet. If you say that somebody has a magnetic personality, 자석 같은 성격, it means that they attract people for many, 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 many reasons. Now, a person with a magnetic personality, for example, could be, of course, good looking, could be very intelligent, could be a happy person, optimistic person, full of energy. Now, this person attracts others for many different reasons, okay? And then you could explain by saying she makes everyone feel comfortable around her, meaning when people are with her, they feel very comfortable because she has a very good personality, a magnetic personality. She attracts people. Moving on to this one, it's not easy to describe Robert, okay? So if you have a difficult time talking about somebody's personality, this is a great way to begin. It's not easy to describe so-and-so's personality, but he's very down-to-earth and approachable, okay? We've got two key expressions here, or key words. Down-to-earth is, I guess, a person that is very humble, modest, that's down-to-earth, meaning very calm, okay? So a person that's very earthy, I guess, okay? That's very calm and honest and modest, and humble is a person that's down-to-earth. They're pretty much okay with everything. They're not picky people. And approachable means what? Easy to approach means someone that is easy to become friends with, okay? Moving on to another one. I love that she's so affectionate and considerate. What is affectionate? Affectionate is like a warm attachment or kindness, love, affection, right? So a person that's full of love would be an affectionate person. And considerate is another word for thoughtful. If you are a considerate person, you think about other people's feelings and thoughts as well as yours, okay? So affectionate. I would say, for example, Koreans are very affectionate people. They're very loving, they're warm-hearted, and so they're very affectionate people. Moving on to, now, ways to describe negative personalities, okay? Let's talk about the negatives now. He's a combination of A and B. So you can say he's A and B. A great way to say that is he is a combination of melancholic and phlegmatic, okay? Melancholic is what? Kind of gloomy. Not so depressed, but kind of gloomy. And also phlegmatic is someone that does not really have or show emotions. Someone that's always very, very calm, okay? So melancholic and phlegmatic. This, once again, means very calm. Someone that does not get excited very easily, okay? Joe can sometimes be neurotic. What does that mean? I hope you remember. Kind of crazy, has ups and downs, and high-strung as well. So these are very similar expressions you can use when you want to talk about something that's not stable, that can be really crazy sometimes and very sensitive. Moving on, I can't stand that he's often condescending, haughty, and full of himself. Now, these are all very, very similar. They have similar definitions. If you say that somebody is condescending, what does that mean? Condescending. A person that always finds fault in other people. For example, if this person thinks, oh, I'm the best, I have the best personality, I'm the smartest, I'm better than you always do this wrong and that wrong, that person is condescending. Not a very nice person, right? Haughty is also very similar. You think you are the best, okay? You're above everybody else. And full of oneself, or full of himself in this case, means very conceited. You think that you are the best, okay? Nobody is better than you. So take a look at condescending, haughty, and full of oneself. Moving on, she sometimes becomes too self-important or too controlling of others. Self-important is what? Yes, you think that you are the most important, meaning, I think in Korean it's 자만심, right? You're the best. You come first all the time. There's nobody better than you. You're conceited, okay? Self-important and controlling of others, meaning you like to tell people what to do. You're kind of bossy, in other words. All right, favorite personalities of people you can talk about. I'm generally drawn to. Remember, drawn to means attracted to. Simply put, you can say I generally like people. Same thing. Let's practice this pattern. I'm generally drawn to people who are perpetually optimistic. This is what Rachel said about her friend Connie, right? Perpetually means what? Continuously, all the time, constantly optimistic. So you like people like this. Moving on, I tend to gravitate toward, also meaning I'm attracted to someone like Jack. He's laid back and highly gregarious. Also very calm, you're down to earth, and we have gregarious here, which means very outgoing and sociable. You make friends very easily, okay? Gregarious means sociable. Let's move on. I love to be around people with a natural charisma. Yes, some people have a very good vibe, a very nice energy, positive energy. They have charisma, meaning a natural charisma that attracts people. When you don't know what it is about a person that you like, but somehow, for some reason, you like him or her, you can say, well, I like her because she has natural or unnatural charisma. You can either use A or take it out, okay? Keep that in mind. And then you can say, I'm instinctively attracted to someone who exudes. Exudes means to give off a sense of confidence and positive energy. This is, once again, a simpler way to say this is, I'm instinctively, all of a sudden or right away, okay, attracted to someone who give off a sense of confidence and positive energy. I think positive energy or a positive vibe is very important because it's true. When you are with a person that's very negative, that always complains about things and is not sure about himself or herself, you kind of feel down and depressed as well. But when you are with a positive person, a happy and energetic person, you seem to feed off that energy and become energetic and happy as well. So I think it's important to have a positive energy. All right, that is all for today's actual talk expressions, everyone. Well, practice more on your own. Now it's time for today's idiom. Are you ready for it? Now relax for a moment because we did learn a lot of personality traits, positive and negative. Now, as you sit back and relax, here is today's idiom. It is, be the life and soul of the party. Yes, the party where we all have fun. Be the life and soul of the party. Now, try to imagine what this idiom means. I'll give you a sentence. Tony is great to be around. He's always the life and soul of the party. So you can tell that it's a good personality trait because I said he's great to be around. The definition of this idiom is, be the life and soul of the party. 모임 등의 활기의 중심, 활력소가 되는 사람, 아주 재미있는 사람을 뜻합니다. So you can say somebody is the life of the party, or you can say the life and soul of the party. Here is another example. For example, to be the type of person who enjoys social occasions and makes them much more enjoyable, you can say, he is the life of the party. I hope he shows up tonight. So for example, you're planning on going to a birthday party, a concert, or any kind of party, perhaps even dinner, and somebody has such a great energy that you hope that person comes. Because if he comes, yeah, the party becomes all the more enjoyable. Once again, he is the life of the party. Okay, he adds energy to the party. I hope she shows up, or I hope he shows up tonight. All right, that is it for today's idiom. Practice more on your own, and let's move on to our next segment.
Describe the personality of the person you spend the most time with. What kind of person is he or she? What do you like or dislike about him or her? Feel free to talk about his or her positive and negative traits in detail.
I spend the most time with the person who is outgoing and listens to what I say and shares the problem. My father is one of the person. When I get stressed, I always call to my father. Then he just takes me to the place where we can enjoy outdoor activities. We usually play badminton, squash, and sometimes swings together. After that, he takes me to the pub and listens to what I say while we are drinking. We share the problem, and sometimes he suggests the solutions to what I faced. So those are the reasons why I really like him. But the only thing I don't like him is that he believes in others so easily that he usually gets hurted from others. Since I really like my father, I don't want him to get hurted. All in all, those are the reasons I usually spend the time with him.
All right, everyone, it is now time for our actual interview. Hope you had a good listen to it. First of all, thank you to Lee Kyung-Hee for a wonderful interview. Now, what did she talk about? She talked about her relationship with her father. Her father sounds like a wonderful person, and I envy you so much. I wish I was close with my family members like this. Now, what did she say? She said that when she has problems, she usually turns to her father, and they talk about things. Wonderful. Let's move on and check out what she said. First of all, a great thing she said was, then he just takes me to the places, or you can say takes me to places where we can enjoy outdoor activities. Now, when do they do this? She says that when she has problems, she talks to her father, and he takes her out, just to help her, I guess, blow away the stress, to have fun together. He takes her out to enjoy outdoor activities. Wonderful. Another one is, so those are the reasons why I really like him. So she's given reasons, and then she says, she's wrapping it up, so these, or those are the reasons I like him. Let's move on to a few oopsies. Now, she said, when I get stressed out, I always call to my father. Now, what's awkward here? Can you figure it out? Yeah? I think the two should not be here. So you should say, when I get stressed, I always call my father. This is a common mistake. I call to someone. No, that's wrong. Never say call to. Always say, I call my mother. I call my friend. I call Jane. I call Tom. Never call to. So keep that in mind. Another small mistake. She said, but the only thing I don't like him is that he listens others so easily that he usually get hurted from others. Now, the words I want to focus here are hurted, listen, and up here, don't like him. This whole thing. Now, you're saying that, of course, you like him, but there's something you don't like about him. So that should be fixed. Also, he listens to others. And what about this? Hurted? Let's check out how we should fix this. So once again, but the only thing I don't like about him, 그분이 싫은 게 아니죠. You're saying 그분에 대해서 좀 만족하지 않는 불만이 있다. I don't like about him is that he listens, right? It's he listens to others so easily that he usually gets hurt by them. Never hurted, people get hurt. Hurt. Keep that in mind. He gets hurt by them. In this case, listens to others and he gets hurt. Basically means 사람들의 얘기를 너무 잘 들어줘서 상처를 받는다. 라는 말 되겠죠. Sometimes it could happen. What about this? Same. The only thing I don't like about him is that he trusts people so easily. 너무나 말을 쉽게 믿는 겁니다. He trusts people. He believes what people say so easily that he usually gets hurt by them. So keep that in mind. Of course, you could believe in people. You could trust what people say, but sometimes, yeah, people take advantage of you, bad people. So you could get hurt by people if you believe every single word they say. Well, wonderful interview once again. Hope you don't make these common mistakes, everyone. Go over the interview one more time on your own, and that is a wrap for this segment. Job well done, everyone. It is time for me to say goodbye. That is a wrap for today's lesson. I do want to mention that there is a bonus for you, some extra adjectives you can use to describe people's personalities. You can check our homepage for that. I'll have a chart ready for you there, so do that. In the meantime, practice using these adjectives used to describe people, okay? I guess vocabulary, having a large vocabulary is not always a must, but it's better to know, right? The more you know, the better it is. So practice more on your own, and who knows, you may have the chance to talk about people and describe their personalities in the future as well. Now, of course, here are a few questions. If you were to talk about a very relaxed friend, a person that has a very relaxed personality, that's right, you can say easygoing. He's very easygoing. What about this one? A person that is very truthful, honest, and humble. That's right, down to earth. He or she is down to earth. And as I mentioned, the next time we talk about Koreans, what we are like, Tong, you want to talk about that? You can say that Koreans are very affectionate and considerate people, okay? All right, everyone, that is a wrap for today. Please join us or check out our homepage at www.ebse.co.kr and just search for Tenny Point Actual Speaking. That is a wrap. I'll catch you next time with another interesting topic. We'll talk about love and marriage. Until then, take care. Bye for now.